Hello, my name is Drorko, and I am a ninth grader at the Roxbury Latin School. I'm from Brookline, Massachusetts, and for my portrait drawing, I chose to draw my father. I chose to draw my father because I feel like sometimes he can be um, underappreciated in my family, and I wanted to present him with a kind gesture to show him how grateful I am. So before drawing, I really had no experience whatsoever. I had taken a drawing elective in middle school, from which I learned almost nothing. So I was pretty much on my own in the beginning of this project. Um, I feel very satisfied with the finished drawing. It is by no means perfect or even good, I would say, but I think it's definitely a lot better than I thought I was capable of. And I think it's especially meaningful to me because I was able to sort of present it to my father, present a piece of my hard work to my father. And I know how hard he works. So it just felt good showing him that, I had worked hard on a gift for him. Um, and me and my dad are planning on framing it and hanging it up in either his room or my room, but we're not sure. We're currently working on getting it framed. So thank you for listening. I appreciate it and have a wonderful day.
Hello, my name is Jack Tompros. I'm from Charlestown and I'm in ninth grade at Roxbury Latin. For my portrait, I chose to draw my younger brother and sister because I found this nice picture of them when I was cleaning out my desk around the time we were starting the drawing in class. I didn't have much experience drawing realistic humans for this drawing, so I'm very happy with how it turned out. I especially like the hair because I couldn't really draw hair well before this drawing. I think I'll keep it at home so my family can look at it. I don't really have any special plans for it at the moment. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hunter Lane and I'm a freshman at Roxbury Latin. For my art project this year, I decided to draw a portrait of my little brother Dylan. He's in 4th grade and the picture I drew of him was taken last year for a school photo. I decided that, with Christmas coming up, it would be a good gift and hopefully a great surprise. He ended up liking the portrait and it's actually hung up in his room right now. I had never done any drawing other than stick figures up until this past year, and I'm proud of the way it turned out. I spent a lot of time working on the drawing and all the little details, and it was definitely worth it. The portrait is something that my little brother loves and something we can always share together. Thanks so much, and have a great day. Bye.
Hi, I'm James Henshin. I am currently a freshman at Roxbury Latin, and I live in Wellesley. So for my drawing, for my project, I decided to make a picture of my dad using grids, and so I wanted to make my dad because he is constantly giving me so much love and care, and I just want to give him something in thanks and in recognition for it. So I haven't really had any writing or drawing experience before this. Um, and you could probably tell that if I showed you my first draft, but I worked a lot on the final project and I'm really proud of that because if it hadn't been that good, I wouldn't have been as proud to give it to my dad and it wouldn't have had held as much meaning as it does now. And I gave it to my dad for Christmas because my mom is Jewish, so we usually celebrate Hanukkah, but I wanted to give him something special for Christmas just to make it a little bit more memorable. And so I gave it to him then. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy looking at the other projects.
Hi, my name is Vincent Yeager. I'm from Westwood and I go to the Roxbury Latin School. I chose to draw this picture of my younger sister Alexandra because she loves taking long walks on the beach. This picture reminds me of a vacation we had in Martha's Vineyard. I didn't really have any previous grid drawing experience, so this was a fun challenge for me to kind of tackle for the first time. I'm pretty proud of how this finished piece came out, and especially for it only being my first grid drawing, I look forward to definitely making more pieces of art. And I don't quite know yet what I'm going to do with this piece of drawing, but I think I'm going to give it to my sister for her ninth birthday. And I would like to thank all of you guys for taking some time out of your day to see my grid drawing and listen to me talk about it and what it means to me. So, thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Lin, and I'm also a ninth grader here at the Roxbury Latin School, and I come from Sharon. For my portrait, I chose to recreate a photo of my family that was taken when my brother and I were still babies. So that was about 13 years ago. And if any of you are wondering, I'm that cute baby in the middle on the bottom. I wanted to draw a portrait of my entire family, and I like this one the best because of the way my brother is sort of just peeking out from over my parents' shoulders. Before this project, I had little to no experience drawing outside of the mandatory art classes that were provided at my elementary school and my middle school, and therefore I am really proud of the way my drawing turned out. I'm especially proud of the way that my dad looks. He looks very similar to that in real life. As of now, the portrait is just sitting in the corner of my room collecting some dust, but it will probably be hung up sometime in the future. I thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the art show.
Hello, my name's Dominic and I'm a freshman at Roxbury Latin. For my portrait, I decided to draw my grandpa, who died when I was very young. Over the summer, I helped my grandma put my grandpa's old photos and videos on the computer, and through those videos and the time that I spent with her, I grew much closer to my grandma. This portrait is actually based on one of those photos that we converted and that we put on the computer. The photos of my grandpa at my mom and dad's wedding, and as you can tell, he's very happy. I primarily made this portrait for my grandma because I wanted to surprise her with this drawing as a memory. And although I doubt that I'm the next Leonardo da Vinci, as you can tell, I hope that when I give it to her that she enjoys it and the work that I put into it. Before this portrait, my skills as an artist were very small. The best drawing I'd ever done was a doodle in my notebook, so this by far stands out as the best drawing ever that I made. Thank you for listening. This is my portrait, and have a great rest of your day.
Hello, my name is Eric Zhu. I'm from West Roxbury, and I'm currently a freshman at the Roxbury Latin School. For my portrait, I drew my older brother Christopher, who is now in his first year of college. I chose to draw him because he has always been a role model, pushing me to work harder and achieve more. The photograph that I used was actually his senior graduation photo used for the RL Senior yearbook. It's hard to notice, but he's wearing his RL Senior tie in the photo, which is somewhat identifiable through the sideways RL shield. My experience in art is not extremely thorough, but I've taken art courses when I was younger and had an art course in elementary school. I'm glad that the art courses at Roxbury Latin are far more serious, for they have taught me much and certainly have made me a better artist. The portrait holds much meaning to me because, like I mentioned before, my brother is a constant source of motivation and inspiration. Although this portrait will likely just end up sitting in my room, it holds a lot of meaning to me. Thank you.
Hello, I am Matthew Bastardi. I am a freshman at Roxbury Latin, and I live in Hingham. For my portrait, I chose my older sister because I was looking around trying to find any pictures that would work, any photographs that we had, and it was either between her or my younger sister, and I did a coin flip to see whose I would choose just because I didn't want any hurt feelings. And I think the portrait ended up coming out really well for what my abilities were at before, because going into this class, I was not the greatest artist, but definitely improved a lot, and it's nice to see that I've gotten better. Yeah, and this portrait, I think, will be hung up somewhere. At the moment, it is sitting in my basement somewhere, but my mom has told me it is going to be hung up. Don't know if that's completely true because my younger sister is a really good artist, so her art really covers the walls, but You never know. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Leonardo and I'm a freshman at the Roxbury Latin School. So, for my grid drawing, I chose to draw a picture of my mom and my uncle. This picture actually comes from my mom's birthday. Going into this drawing, I had very little experience, and that is one of the main reasons why I'm proud of the end result, as I definitely did not expect it to come out as it did, but I got much better over the course of the drawing, and that allowed me to come out with an end result that I am very proud of. I had fun making this, especially in finding the small things like the correct value for my mom's skin, or how to do the darkness under my uncle's hood. All these small things came together and made making this drawing very fun for me. This drawing has some special meaning for me, as I see my uncle very rarely, as he lives in Italy, and this drawing is just a snapshot of the fun that we have when we are there. And of course, the next time we go over there, I'm going to make sure to give it to him. So, thank you.
So my drawing is my dad in his early 20s, and we kind of worked on this project over the course of the second marking period, which goes from about mid-fall until winter break, which is when we have exams. And towards the end of this project, we were finishing up. It was almost about around exams, and I found it actually kind of soothing to work on it because it took away from all of our exam studying, and I actually really enjoyed creating this project for my dad. I gave it to him over the winter break. He really liked it, but this was kind of I'd say one of my most favorite projects that we've done in art class so far, just because we had so much flexibility to choose like whatever we wanted to draw, whichever person, whatever. And a couple of challenges I had during the project was one of my biggest issues was I had I guess a project that had a lot more going on than other people. Some people just had like one face that they had to do. So there's obviously struggles in that too, but mine had a lot of background and a lot of different components going on to it, so it wasn't as detailed. But I had a really good time putting it all together and drawing all the different pieces. So yeah, I hope you guys like it. Thank you.
My name is Mark Anderson, and I am in ninth grade at the Roxbury Latin School. For the portrait, I drew a picture of my younger cousin Jacob, who at the time was around 5 years old. I chose to draw this picture because he's very special to me. Before I started drawing this picture, I did not have much experience drawing at all. I did not think that I'd be able to finish it with such a wonderful, complete project. I'm very proud of myself for completing the drawing, and I really like the fact that I was able to capture his features so well, and that I was able to shade in different parts of his face to make it look realistic. With the drawing, I'm probably going to give it to my aunt, his mother, because it's a picture and a drawing that she really likes. Thank you for having me on this art for the Altenheim.
My name is Jiho Lee. I live in Wellesley, and I am a ninth grader at Roxbury Latin. For my portrait, I chose my 6-year-old sister, and I had a couple reasons. First of all, I wanted to be able to give her a gift for the holidays, and second, my sister is super energetic and fun and playful. Without her, I think that my life would be pretty boring. Before this class, I never had much experience with drawing, but I thought that I was decent at drawing. I'm pretty proud of the end result. I think that I did a nice job using all the information given by my art teacher, and I think the drawing resembles my sister pretty closely. The drawing is meaningful to me because it is one of the first drawings that I made after formally learning some techniques, and I think the end result was pretty good. I showed the drawing to my sister, and she was a little critical of it, as younger sisters usually are, but I think the drawing can serve as a good memory. Thank you all for listening.
Hello, my name is Mark McGuire, and I'm a freshman at the Roxbury Latin School. For my portrait, I decided to draw my cousin, Dan O'Many. This portrait is based on a photo when he was a world champion wrestler. This was my first portrait like this, and I'm super happy with the way it turned out. I like the way I shaded the portrait the most. I plan to give this portrait to my grandmother, who lives in Ireland, as it would mean the world to her as she grew up and lived with him until he sadly died in a car crash. I plan to give it to her as a surprise this summer when I fly over. My grandmother lives in a small town by the name of Ballyhob in Ireland, which also happens to have a bronze statue of Dan O'Mahony remembering his legacy. In the future, I plan to draw more thanks to the way this portrait turned out. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day.
Hi, I'm Lucas Vanderelst. I'm a ninth grader at the Roxbury Latin School and I live in Boston. For my portrait, I decided to draw my little sister Isabella. She's 11 years old and I really wanted to give her the portrait as a Christmas present. And it was a really nice surprise when I gave it to her. The picture that I decided to draw was from a wedding, and it was actually the wedding of one of my mom's cousins. So that's why she's dressed up in a nice dress. Before I took this course, I didn't have that much experience with drawing, and through the course I really learned that I had a passion for drawing. I'm really proud of the drawing, and I think my sister was really happy with it. I think I captured her posture and pose really well as the hair. And I think I really captured the individual strands of hair very well. The portrait is really special and has a lot of meaning for me and for my sister because I spent a lot of work on it, and she was really happy when I presented it to her on Christmas. A couple of weeks ago, we sent it to the framer, and she wants to get it framed and hang it up in her room. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hi, my name is Ian Fuller. I'm from Watertown, and I'm a freshman at Roxbury Latin. This is a portrait that I drew this fall for school. The picture is of my family and me when I was 10 years old. I chose to draw this picture in particular because it is special and means a lot to me. My grandmother took the photo of us 5 years ago when she was over here visiting from England, and I have cherished it ever since. Before this portrait, I had some experience with drawing, though it was limited. I like to draw in my free time and had taken a few courses prior to this project. For example, I took an art camp over the summer. All in all, when I finished this portrait, I was thrilled with the outcome. The proportions for all three of us were all accurate, and the features were all incredibly realistic. For example, the eyes, the mouth, and the hair. And it was incredibly lifelike. I plan on framing this and hanging it up on a wall in my house in order to always remember it and love the experience that I had. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my art piece.
My name is Theo Coben. I'm in the ninth grade here at RL, and I live in Dedham. And for my portrait, I chose my grandfather, who was in the Navy during World War II. Now, I wanted to draw this subject because he actually just recently passed away in October, and I wanted to give something to my grandma that would be important to her to remember him by. Now, before this project, I hadn't really had a lot of drawing experience, but a formal arts course this year has really helped me to enjoy and appreciate and put a lot of effort into my work in drawing. And so that effort, when all that effort, coming into play as a final product on a page, that's incredibly satisfying to me. And it fills me with joy, to see the joy on my grandmother's face when I gave it to her. So that holds a lot of value for me. My favorite part actually of this piece, believe it or not, is the eyebrows. It's a recognizable trait of the men in my family, as you can see. And so potentially if this portrait is passed down years to come, maybe the future Cobens will, look at my grandfather's eyebrows and, see the similarities, and maybe they'll see my grandfather, who he was, what life he lived. And that holds a lot of meaning to me. Thank you.